Hello and welcome to the NTA2 News at this hour. I am Adeola Komiakiri. Lagos State Government says material integrity tests would be carried out on 6 buildings adjacent to the buildings razed down by fire on Dosemu Street, Lagos Island. The Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Femi Okeosoitolu, disclosed this when he visited the scene of the fire incident. S.A. Owamaka reports.
It's been few days since the occurrence of the fire incident that razed down 4 buildings and destroyed properties and goods worth millions of naira in the Dosumu area of Lagos Island. Victims affected by the inferno are still counting their losses and are calling on relevant authorities to come to the raid.
I was there when everything started. The fire started from the next building, and there is a space. My building is not that close with the other one. There is a fence that demarcates the building. So what I really want, because I don't know what to say much, but what I really want is that Lagos State should intervene and help us.
My value of my goods is more than $1 million. It's more than $1 million. It's not thousands at all. Less than millions. That's like it's not something less than 7 million.
What I can only say that we don't expect such by this time in the morning. It's not in the evening. It's not in the midnight. It started early in the morning. And before I will be here around 7:44, already our building, the 3rd floor, has catch fire from the downstairs.
The Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Femi Okeosoitolu, while conducting an assessment of the area, sympathized with the victims and appealed to Lagosians to observe safety procedures at all times to prevent fire incidents.
The most important thing that is very germane in emergency management is the orientation of the people. You can't force something on people like that. They need to change their attitude and orientation. Okay, look at those shops. They have highly flammable materials in there. When you check on those shops, do they put safety precautions in place? No.
Meanwhile, no casualty was recorded as at the time of filing this report. In Lagos, S.A. Owamaka, NT News.
Concerned by the increasing reports of educational certificate racketeering, the House of Representatives has launched an investigation into the matter as a follow-up to a motion to that effect moved by the Chairman House Committee on University Education, Abubakar Hassan Fulata, during plenary. The committee is set to hold an investigative hearing. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that chairmen of 4 various committees are primarily to carry out the investigation on the matter and report back to the House.
This meeting is intended to critically look into the matter on the best approach to seamlessly handle, commence, and accomplish the assignment to unearth and identify the culprits involved in the scandalous act and identify some of the private Nigerian universities in the country operating outside the law and profile workable and sustainable recommendations to ensure that they are brought to book.
Already the government is taking steps with respect to our neighboring countries, proliferation of institutions and academic qualifications from this. But the activities of this ad hoc committee, of this committee, based on this motion, I think is very important. It's going to be very far-reaching in tackling and exposing some of the complacencies that are surrounding, that leading up to all these issues.
Nigeria is not bereft of natural and human resources, but has the capacity of becoming an industrialized nation. Research experts believe that synergy between research institutes and industries, in addition to government creating an enabling environment, will help in actualizing this. Amaka Owo reports that these were the views of stakeholders towards harnessing research and development for manufacturing and industrialization.
Nigeria needs to become an economy anchored on mass production of necessary essentials needed to run the society from various levels. This can be achieved through research, which is critical to deepening industrialization as it drives innovation and brings about infrastructural transformation.
There is what is called the triple helix, like a tripod. The government on one side, the research individuals on one side, and by that I mean the universities and research institutes, and then of course the private sector on the one side. So it takes these three to get an economy functioning properly. And any of these key sectors that are not doing their duty will lead to a failure in this process of harnessing research for the development of the manufacturing base.
For example, in universities, most people do research for the sake of promotion. And once they get promoted to the highest cadre, they forget about research. So it has to be a culture. It has to be a culture. It has to be something that should be ingrained in us. And that is why we need to restructure our educational system and ensure that even at the lower levels of the educational system, there is this culture of research is built into it.
According to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, the manufacturing subsector accounts for 10% of gross domestic product. Therefore, growing this percentage requires replicating research outcomes and channeling findings into the manufacturing subsector, as Nigeria is endowed with the population to consume homegrown solutions and become a less import-dependent nation.
Nigeria, with an array of talent, resources, persons, that the country has, needs to find, innovate on its resources, which, if properly harnessed, we can export and reduce the FX consumption that is affecting the value of the naira.
Stakeholders also believe that it is time to match words with actions through conscious policies, especially as the government is battling hard in its efforts towards economic recovery. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
The federal government has restated its determination to accelerate the implementation of nutrition and related interventions with the creation of nutrition departments in designated federal ministries. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this during an interaction with members of the Nutrition Core Working Committee at the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports.
This meeting focuses on highlighting critical challenges and potential solutions for scaling up nutrition in Nigeria. And the government is set to take measures that will be adopted to address some of the issues raised by the committee, including the establishment of nutrition departments in designated federal ministries, prioritizing advocacy campaigns on nutrition, and funding of nutrition and related activities. Vice President Kashim Shettima assured the committee that nutrition will be given priority attention with the construction of a dashboard in his office to monitor and track the activities of stakeholders in the space.
So we have to come up with ingenious ways of addressing those challenges, and each and every one of us in this room has a role to play. Leadership is a collective responsibility on all of us. Scaling up nutrition interventions all boils down to financing. Without sufficient financing, all this our talk is just an exercise in futility. We have to scale up the interventions, but we have to scale up the financing.
Speaking on the UNICEF Matching Fund program for scaling up nutrition activities in the states, Vice President urged the state governments to key into the initiative, noting that improvement in the commitment shown by the subnationals will be required to attract improved private sector support in financing of nutrition interventions. Special Assistant to the President on Public Health, Uju Anwuka, highlighted the action plan developed by the committee, which is anchored on decentralized coordination, accountability, financing, and profile rising through scaling up nutrition interventions. In view of the challenges in scaling up interventions, the committee recommended the implementation of strategic roadmap for transformative nutrition and food security in Nigeria. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
And let's talk about youth and nation building. Nigerian youths have strategic roles to play in the nation's development, and giving them the needed impetus to achieve these roles should be a collective responsibility. This was the submission of respondents who spoke on how to get youths participate actively in national development. Olaji Akim has this report.
Youths Obey the Clarion Call is a national anthem of the NYSC, calling on youths to lift the country high. This message is for all Nigerian youths who are described as the engine room of any country and are seen as future leaders. All over the world, youths develop various innovations and ideas that drives the world economy. Nigeria, with a population of over 200 million and over 70% of them falling into the youth category, is not left behind. With the youth percentage in the country, stakeholders are of the opinion that Nigerian youths can still contribute more to nation building by providing perspectives and energy to drive economic development and social progress.
When it comes to new bodies of knowledge, especially in the space of technology and the media, we've seen what these young people are capable of doing. It's not in doubt that the older generation are not able to compete as well when it comes to matters of technology.
If you think of politics taking a bearing from the last elections, you find that across the political parties, youths were very much active.
Identification of purpose, unity, avoiding partisan politics and tribal sentiments on the part of the youths, many say will increase youths' expectations in fulfilling their roles in nation building.
For you to have national developments, you must know yourself, that is one. 2, the values we stand for. 3, the principles. 4, the vision. And 5, the change you would like to see in your states.
There is a consensus among experts that with the creation of a viable social and political environment, the impact of the Nigerian youth in nations building will be seen and felt by everyone. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Major General Adamu Garba Laka as the new national coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center under the Office of a National Security Advisor. General Laka served in various capacities in the northeast Nigeria, where he deployed tactical means to degrade terrorist groups. He also served in Sierra Leone and the Democratic Republic of Congo under the United Nations, and was part of a Nigerian contingent in the United States AFRICOM exercise in Senegal. He holds a master's degree in national security from the National Defense University, Pakistan, and in international affairs and strategic studies, Nigeria Defense Academy. The president anticipates that General Laka will bring his vast experience into this critical role to effectively remove security threats through preemptive, proactive, and diligent counter-terrorism coordination. And still talking appointment, the president has also approved the appointment of DIG Johnson Babatunde Kokumo, retired, as the new coordinator of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons under the Office of a National Security Advisor. DIG Kokumo, retired, is a seasoned and accomplished law enforcement professional with over 30 years of experience in crime prevention, management, analysis, and control. He was Deputy Inspector General of Police Force Criminal Intelligence and Investigations Department, Force Headquarters, Abuja, from 2022 to 2023. The president expects that the new coordinator will deploy his immense experience and expertise in efforts to revamp the center and evolve new strategies to bring lasting solutions to the menace of arms proliferation, which is a significant driver of insecurity in the country. You're watching the news on NTA2, your reach out station. It's time for us to take a break. More reports when we come to join us again.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan is here again. NTA2 Lagos Network Center is inviting individuals and corporate organizations to take advantage of the blessed month to earn rewards from Allah by sponsoring any of our spiritually rewarding segments on Ramadan Diet, showing between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. every day of the month of Ramadan. Call to prayers, interactive segment, Tarawih prayer from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, living in the month of Ramadan, and so much more. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 369, GoTV and StarTimes channel 104. You can also follow us on our social media platform via Facebook at NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Ma'asalam.
The Council of Our Fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Lagos now, where Ingino has an executive report. No, Ingino. In Lagos, state houses of assembly have charged the federal government to direct relevant agencies to ensure
Many thanks for staying with us. Emerging technologies and the dynamisms in media operations require constant change in narratives to ensure that communication drives the desired change in the Nigerian society. This, the helmsmen at the National Broadcasting Commission and the Nigerian Television Authority alluded to during a visit by the former to NTA management. Zenred Dignam reports.
Charles Ebuebu led his management team to the NTA headquarters to strengthen bonds of cooperation and broadcast excellence. He says there's a disconnect between content creators and the regulatory body, adding that the aim of regulation is not to gag people, but ensure professionalism reigns.
Media is going through significant transformations as we speak, with innovation, technology, content, the use of AI and broadcasting, that before we get our heads around it, it has moved. So there's so much we can do together. I see the NTA playing a major part in where media is going.
Director General of the NTA, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembo, says NTA is ever ready to take up projects that support local contents in the interest of the nation.
Together, we have worked tirelessly to ensure adherence to broadcasting codes and regulations, promote professionalism among broadcasters, and uphold the highest standard of content quality. It is through this partnership and collaboration, such as the one we have with the NBC, that we are able to advance the interests of our audience and contribute to the socio-economic development of our nation.
This visit, both parties agree, opens up new horizons for better and sustainable engagements in the broadcast industry. In Abuja, Zenret Dingmun, NTA News.
And it's now time for us to take some entertainment stories.
Hello and welcome to the entertainment segment of the news.
Popular Nigerian actor Ayola Ayolola has recalled an attempt to commit suicide by jumping in front of a moving vehicle after finding out that he would have a child out of wedlock. The actor said that he battled depression because he was not prepared to be a father and described the period as one of the lowest times of his life. He disclosed that because his dad is a pastor and he is the first child, there was the feeling of disappointment, saying that he felt like he had let his people down. He says that he is grateful to God that the attempt did not take his life. Still on entertainment news, the president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, Emeka Rollas, has debunked the rumors of the death of Nollywood legendary actor Zach Orji. Rumors of the death of the veteran actor started appearing on social media a few days after the death of veteran actor Amechi Munago was announced. In a post on his Facebook page, Mr. Rollas called the rumors the product of mischief makers and affirmed that the veteran actor was safe and alive. Now to the foreign scene. American actor Anne Hathaway has thanked filmmaker Christopher Nolan for casting her in his film Interstellar, despite her toxic reputation at the time. The star, who recalled a period of her career in which she was relentlessly mocked and shamed online, said that Nolan was one of the few directors to ignore the criticisms that had enveloped her. She added that she did not know whether Nolan knew that he was actively endorsing her at a precarious time in her career, but that the casting choice had that effect regardless. That concludes entertainment news. Thanks for watching.
And now talking sports, Super Eagles of Nigeria lost 0-2 to Eagles of Mali in an international friendly match in Morocco as Nigeria Olympic Committee Women's Commission pledges continuous support for women in athletics. Details with Olumide Kuntola.
The Nigeria Olympic Committee says athletes who excelled and made the country proud at the just concluded African Games in Ghana will be groomed for podium finish outing at the forthcoming Paris 2024 Olympic Games in France. President of the Nigeria Olympic Committee, Abu Gumel, commended Team Nigeria for showing high standards.
It is important that some athletes, they come here like a sort of trial for them. And so we have to work together jointly to ensure that our athletes are developed for the next World Championship.
In a related development, the Nigeria Olympic Committee Women Commission held a one-day event to mark this year's International Women's Day, while reflecting on the achievement of female athletes at the just concluded African Games. The Commission reaffirmed commitment to continue to support women to excel.
As women, we need to encourage ourselves. As women, we need to stay together. As women, we need to work together in unity.
We're celebrating the fact that women have achieved and women are still achieving. And then we celebrate that we're breaking barriers.
In combat sport, the Nigerian Mixed Martial Arts Federation says modalities to ensure that combat sports become a scoring event are met before the next African Games in Egypt.
Mixed martial art as a scoring sport, next communal African Games, I mean, it's 90%. We can guarantee you. So it's now on the federation. It's now for athletes to also work to because we are going to do our part to ensure that we bring our best.
The combat sport, which featured as a demonstration sport at the 13th All-African Games in Ghana, showcased 4 fighters who won 4 medals. In tennis, Ima Raducanu's WTA ranking is set to slump once again next week after a withdrawal from the Miami Open due to injury. The 21-year-old, who was given wild card for the prestigious tournament, was set to play China's Wang Yu in the first round on Tuesday. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
And that's the news at this hour on NTA2. We thank you for spending time with us. To stay with the NTA for more news updates and other interesting programs. I am Adeola Komiakere on behalf of the production crew saying enjoy the rest of your day.